So reports that the Mavericks in their organization had a very hostile work environment done by Sports Illustrated. Okay, so the first one here, Dallas Mavericks Ussery struck up a conversation, told the woman that she was gonna get gangbanged at the end of the night. She said yes, the dude Ussery had repeatedly proposed for sex, even offering to leave his marriage. But the woman did not say anything, and he had a lot of inappropriate behavior. So the girl quit her sales job after more than a decade, and it was like a real life Animal House, as one of the organization employees put it. After someone spending 5 years with the Mavs they weren't there after all, but they were pretty sure that it was still going on. But fuck, so there was corporate team president, outright domestic assault by a high-profile member of the Mavs.com staff. See, I don't buy this whole Mark Cuban didn't know what was going on bullshit. But it's just like, no, he's always around his organization. So there's no excuse. I feel like if he's not out as an owner, like he just got fined $600,000 for tanking. He needs to get fined like $3-4 million, take away a draft pick or two, because this is just crazy. It's funny because one person said, I dealt with players all the time, and my anxiety would go down when I was dealing with the players more than it would when I go into the desk. And like all these female reporters, like they left. Or they contacted SI and they told them like they're feeling vulnerable and devalued and they're trying to protect. And the powerful men who kept misbehaving, and there was built-in protection. And Mark Cuban obviously knew about this earlier. There's a lot of reports saying that they did. And they didn't feel safe going to work. And it'd be hard. It'd be hard to find a more credentialed sports executive than Terem Ussery, Princeton graduate. Served on the board of trustees, master's degree from Harvard, law degree from Cal-Berkeley. He was in a white shoe law firm. Then he left legal practice, and he left Nike to become the CEO of the Mavericks in 1997, and he's been the alternate governor of the NBA. But damn, people just been telling him like he's just not good with female employees, not treating him right, and when he was asked by the media, he didn't say anything. He was just like, I don't want to elaborate any further. No comment. It didn't they didn't really find out about the behavior, and then it just said like anonymous sources made false stuff about me. So he was denying it. But all these former Maverick employees, they all opened up. They're like, yeah, this work culture is really, really bad. It's a cancer. I hope people get out of it. And this is always like before, SI has like a 2013 report in, and so instead of making two women became making contemporary notes on their unpleasant exchange with Ussery. And there's one in September 2007. Terdema stops near me where the main door is and says, seriously, just one time. And then another one where Terdema says, ask me if in another life would I marry him. I respond, if it was another life, I'd be a millionaire and own this team and he can handle working for me. August 12th, 2013, one woman recorded that she complained to her boss, Paul Monroe, the Mavericks VP of marketing, about a culture unfriendly to women, citing Ussery's behavior specifically. According to her notes, Monroe said he'd drive her to a meeting. Once they were settled in his car, Monroe threatened to fire her if she didn't shut up and do your job. I'm telling her to just take the abuse from Ussery, and adding the boss wrote the woman, I felt threatened not only for my safety, but he was threatening my position within the company. So those are all the context. And then May, there's something going on outside. May 2014, Terdema sits next to me in the two chairs in front of his desk as he's talking to me. And Earl K.Sneed, he's a big guy in this. He was a few months removed from graduating from the University of Oklahoma with a journalism degree, and he was going to work in the NBA, and he came he wrote a email to Mark Cuban telling the Mavs owner, I want to do something, and Cuban didn't really respond, but Sneed gave a job to him freelancing for the team's website. He worked for the Mavs for a year. He kept writing him. He kept trying to get other full-time job offers as well. Cuban pressed Sneed for a salary figure, but Sneed responded to negotiated, and Sneed became the full-time beat writer for the Mavericks. Sneed was involved in a domestic dispute with his girlfriend, where Sneed said he sat on top of her and slapped her on the face and chest, and he was arrested at the Mavericks facility and charged with assault, a misdemeanor. But obviously Mark Cuban is known about this stuff, right? And he was also pleaded in 2012 as June 20th to misdemeanor, $750 fine, and he wasn't. He had to do community service, and he like everyone knew he was a bad person, right? Because they had the report on him, and Mark Cuban probably knew about this, but he probably wanted to keep it hush hush. So he wasn't unable to go to Canada because of this. It didn't end with acts of domestic violence. He actually dated a Mavericks colleague, and a relationship two made public, keeping the team. 2014, and it turned violent. He hit the woman. Her face got swollen. She went to work within a few days. Reported the incident to her immediate supervisor and to Pittman, but they didn't do anything. They just said be professional and keep going. So. Right, and then he co-hosted Fox Sports Southwest Mavs Insider weekly TV show August of 2017, and Cuban told SI he fired Pittman and suspended Sneed because he felt sick, but Sneed got fired, but how are you going to justify firing this guy after all of these things happened and you didn't know a single thing? Yeah, that woman obviously quit her job, and like pretty much the whole answer to this is, how do you not know? Because the Mavericks won a championship, and they were all like, and Ussery is also doing a lot of stuff, right? So Mark Cuban, obviously, this is like sexual assault, like the Sneed guy, Ussery, yeah, Ussery. I think you say Ussery, but damn, man, that's crazy. They just went after him. They just went. This is ridiculous, man. I don't like this at all. The Mavericks are a great organization. I always thought of them as one of the best organizations in the NBA because of the way they were built, their organization stuff. I never thought of the Mavericks as that team to like be a team where they were like, oh, we're bad. But this is disgusting. I hate this. You cannot keep this under wraps. If Mark Cuban knew all along, I'm sorry I have to say it, but I think Mark Cuban should be out as an owner. I just, personally, if you can't keep up with your team, I think Mark Cuban should be out as an owner. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, I don't think, like, the problem here is, sorry about that little cut. The problem here is, Mark Cuban knows. So why are you beating around the bush? See, this is the problem, man. The Cowboys have this problem, the Rangers, and now you got the Mavericks. Man, all these Texas teams got all these problems. Spurs got problems. The Mavericks need to figure this out. I don't know what is wrong with the Mavericks. They need to find a way to figure this out, and they need to figure out like what they're going to do next to their organization. They got Dirk Nowitzki, and no one's going to want to go to them in free agency now. Why would you want to go to a team that has a terrible workplace and doesn't treat their employees properly? This is completely free agency killer, and this is also a killer for Mark Cuban because it takes his status down as an owner. Now he's going to be looked upon as, oh, this is the guy that couldn't maintain his own workplace. Oh, it's the guy who couldn't do his own thing. And that's sad, man, because I like Mark Cuban. I think Mark Cuban is a great owner, but I don't know, man. This is really bad. This is a really bad look for the Mavericks. This is not okay. If this happens at any other level, anywhere else, this is an immediate firing, like, I don't understand why sports people, sports players, agents, coaches, all these guys always get away with certain things. Just because they're in the sports world. That shouldn't work that way. It should work where everyone gets equal punishment, and I think because of that, Mark Cuban should be out as an owner, because you have to be aware of these things. As an owner, you have to be on top of everything, and he was not on top of this. This is his biggest loss, and I think he should be out as an owner. And that whole Mavericks workplace thing needs to be completely changed. Adam Silver needs to figure out a way to try and change that. So I hope there are new changes coming, and I think Mark Cuban needs to be out as an owner. It's a terrible way. This is absolutely disgusting. I don't know why these reports are coming out right now, but it's absolutely disgusting that I even have to report about this kind of stuff. It sucks. I hate it. Sexual abuse is not okay, and it's setting a bad example for other people in society. For other people, snakes, other people who are not trustworthy, other people who stink at their job. This is setting a terrible example, and I just really need to see a good punishment here, because I just don't. It's not okay. It's not okay in any manner. I don't know why the NBA does, why the NBA, NFL, why they sort of just kind of let this go, because if they hadn't let this go, they could have stopped this like maybe 10 years ago. You understand, 2008 is a long time ago. That's about like what? It's 2018 now. What? That's 10 years ago. They could have stopped this problem almost a decade ago. And SI's been getting reports, but SI can't do anything unless they get the full facts. So the Mavericks have to disclose the full facts. So Mark Cuban out as an owner, and I think Mavericks are just need to reconstruct the workplace. This is absolutely disgusting. I hate this. I hope I never have to do a story about this ever again.